Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Listen up, Maximilfs and Predaclowns. You are listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Nero.
I'm your other host, Audrey.
And it's time to go beast mode.
I would go to Twitter if this is what Mr. Beast... You know that thing, I would go to school if this was the uniform? I would go to Twitter if this was the Mr. Beast.
The Rat Trap calls Optimus Primal Mr. Beast in Rise of the Beasts. I'm manifesting that to hurt all of you. So yeah, we are embarking on an exciting new venture here with Beast Wars Part 1 and 2.
Yeah. Interesting. We'll get more into this as we start talking about the show, but Beast Wars, it's been a hot minute since I watched Beast Wars. I don't think I've watched it since 2011. Beast Wars truly is like duality of show, because I would say, with possibly the exception of like Unicron and Cybertron, it's the worst one to look at. Oh, and Beast Machines.
Beast Machines is bad to look at for different reasons than Beast Wars.
Yeah.
But yeah, Energon is very bad to look at. I would say Cybertron is in some ways better than Beast Wars and in others not.
Okay. Yeah, but it's so bad to look at. It's agonizingly bad. I like put down a list of like 4 different things that I compared it to, and they're all just miserable. It has some of the best writing though.
Yeah.
in the franchise. And I don't mean that in like the overarching plot, which is not great. It's fine. Like, it's not bad, but in like the line to line dialogue, it is some of the snappiest dialogue in the franchise. But it looks like ass.
And it's worth noting that it does actually have an overarching plot, which is, this was the 90s. We were fooling around with, serialized television, deciding, can we trust our audience of idiot babies enough to have like a consistent plot week to week? And kind of. This is one of those like semi-serialized ones where it does have a plot, but it doesn't really kick in until like the second half of the first season, I would say.
Yeah.
But so this is obviously, if you look at it, you can tell this is from 1996. It looks
bad.
Of its time.
How do I look, honey?
I think specifically one of the things that looks the worst about Beast Wars, especially very early on, the backgrounds are atrocious.
Not only are the backgrounds atrocious, which they are animated atrociously in the few moments where they are animated, and they are so distinct. There's let's start talking about it, because I want to talk about, within like the first 2 minutes of the show, you are asking yourself, where is this supposed to be? What biome is this?
Yeah.
where these animal forms are being scanned. So the first episode, you're possibly the most creative titles for opening episodes in the franchise. It's Beast Wars Part 1.
Stop me if you heard this one before. It's deep space. 2 ships from opposing factions of Cybertronians are chasing each other down and fighting to the death.
Capulets and Montagues.
And they crash land on a mysterious planet that definitely isn't Earth. 2
ships alike in dignity.
So, although this is an interesting spin, it is the setup we get from this the introductory dialogue, it's fairly smooth exposition, actually, all things considered.
Yeah.
You've got the Predacon ship being pursued by a Maximal ship who, as we will learn, this Maximal ship is not crewed by soldiers or warriors. It is a like science team. It is like it's a bunch of fucking nerds, basically, who just happen to be the only ship around to pursue a group of renegade Predacons that have stolen something important from Cybertron, which we'll learn more about much later.
Yeah, why they were sent to do this remains unclear.
Yes. It's literally because they were the closest ones. They're like, well, you guys have to do it. So they've gone through this warp gate, and both ships are pretty fucked up now from the space battle, and they're both kind of crashing towards this mysterious unnamed planet.
Yeah, so a couple things happened here. First of all, I had my first comparison, again, looking at this for the first time in more than a decade, which is, you know what this actually feels like? 1995 education games.
Oh, fuck.
On the PC.
It kind of does have that vibe. You know what I noticed a lot, because this is the 90s? This soundtrack is like 70% meaty pan flutes.
It's meaty pan flutes and then African drums.
Yes.
It makes me insane. It's so bad. It's so
you know those
bad. They're like,
you know,
they're like, ooh, we have animals from Africa, so you get generic African drums for 90% of your scene.
fucking worldmusic.mp4. Do you know what it sounds like? It sounds like the intro to the Eyewitness edutainment tapes. That's what the soundtrack to Beast Wars is.
And it's animated similarly.
So the Predacons are led by Megatron, and the Maximals are led by Optimus. These are not the same guys, though. Though, fun fact, very early on in Beast Wars development, it was conceptualized as a true continuation of G1. If you look at the toy bios for the very first wave of Optimus and Megatron toys, you will see that they are being referred to as the same characters as G1. That is not the case. These are new guys.
I mean, they're both dead by season 3, so
exactly. So,
by the way, Megatron has the cuntiest navigation computer.
I put down the Predacon's fucking sexy computer. What is up with this computer?
It's not even that. It's not even just that it's sexy. It's so blasé. It's so bored with everything.
Well,
so Megatron,
when you consider how this Megatron acts, it only fits.
I mean, I know, but so they crash down, and Megatron's like, "Is this Earth? Or you're looking for Earth?" And the computer's like, "Well, maybe." It's I can't tell. It's the right coordinates, but it doesn't match the profile. And it's like, girl, what's going on with you?
She got jostled in the crash. So, yes, of course, we have heard these main lead voices before. This is Gary Chalk as Optimus Primal and David Kay as Megatron, both of whom played Optimus and Megatron throughout the Unicron trilogy. However, due to the fact that this had a real vocal direction and was rushed in 2 months or whatever the fuck happened with Armada, these performances are much, much, much better. These are the
Yeah, it is again, it's also better written in terms of the actual dialogue, right? Again, the story is nothing to write home about, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. But the line-to-line dialogue is really good. So they actually had material to work with, as opposed to Armada, which was, if you got an accurate translation, you were doing well in Armada.
Yeah, but so the both have crash landed in the same general area, which has got a lot of different. It's like a fucking Minecraft biome where it's there's a savanna right next to a desert, right next to a mountain range, right next to a tundra, as we'll see soon.
Which I wouldn't honestly give a shit about that much if they actually kept the animals in the correct one for all of them, but they don't. They start scanning. We're about to get to them starting to scan life forms, and there's a cheetah underneath a gorilla in a grassland.
There's a lot going on here. So,
and I don't mean to be clear, I don't mean a Serengeti like shrubland or whatever. I mean like a suburban lawn green grassland.
So yeah, the main problem is as the like fucking femme fatale Predacon computer informs Megatron, this planet is absolutely flush with energon. In fact, it's so flush with energon that being outside will fucking kill you. So you gotta cloak all of those robot bits in some meat.
A crystal of immediate drunk.
So they scan the local life forms to create these techno-organic shells to allow them to traverse. The Predacons, now it's an interesting bunch of creatures that we get here. So the Predacons scan either the fossils of extinct dinosaurs or bugs.
Well, it's just what's around them.
Yes, and apparently
so they just scan the closest 5 complete skeletons, I guess, happen to be 2 a velociraptor fossil, a T-Rex fossil, and then bugs.
And a pterosaur is around there somewhere, I guess.
Oh, but that's right. I forgot. Sorry, pterosaur.
Meanwhile, the Maximals, they find a gorilla, a rhino, and some cheetahs, and a rat. That's the weirdest one. The most fucked up thing isn't the cheetahs hanging out next to the gorilla in the tree over the rhino. It's that there's like a New York rat also on that same tree. What is happening?
That's just Rat Trap.
What is happening here?
Rat Trap scanned his accent at the same time.
That's right. So
one thing. So my second comparison, it looks like one of those algorithmically created kid videos.
Rat
that's
Trap
number
Elsa
2.
pregnant goes to McDonald's.
Now, I want to be very clear here that we get to see these forms and they look like dog shit. There are exactly 2 characters whose beast forms, in my opinion, look okay. And one of them is Rat Trap, who I think basically looks okay because of how basic the rat design is. And for reasons I can't tell, maybe some guy was just really into velociraptors, Dinobot.
Dinobot looks alright.
Dinobot looks fine. And when you see Dinobot talking, it also looks fine. His expressions are fine. Dinobot looks fine. Everyone else looks like dog shit.
Especially fucking Cheetor. Cheetor looks really quite bad. I mean, the main problem here is not...
The worst is actually Optimus moving.
Ugh.
Optimus's walk cycle is so fucked. There's a reason. I'm realizing now that he rides on Rhinox for most of this show while in beast form, because his walk cycle as a gorilla is the worst thing I've seen.
It's pretty bad. His legs keep clipping through his back. So yeah, I think the main problem with this isn't necessarily just the model quality. It's mostly the lighting that really hurts this show. Everything looks very flat, which, as with any show using this brand new technology, they're going to get better at the lighting. The show does eventually look better. I'm not going to say it's like a Star Wars Clone Wars difference between the beginning and end of the show, but it's definitely there. The show looks much nicer by the second and third seasons than it does in these initial episodes, especially.
Well, it's hard not to. The bar is on the ground right now. This is again, from an aesthetic visual standpoint, nigh unwatchable.
It's pretty rough, but so we start off with the Maximals all introducing themselves to each other and the audience, and I gotta ask, did none of these guys have names before this? Because all of them choose thematically appropriate names. The only one who's been named before this is Optimus and Megatron. Those are the only 2 that have normal names. Have they just decided?
My headcanon is that all of them had their names now, their animal names, except for Cheetor, who names himself.
And Cheetor likes his new body, maybe a little too much. But yeah, we'll kind of learn more about these characters as we go along, the Maximals especially. But the rundown here, you got Optimus Primal, sort of your inexperienced leader trying to hold all this fucking shit together. Kind of similar to animated Optimus in many ways. You got Rhinox, the stoic, intellectual big guy who knows what's going on. You've got Cheetor, the yellow Kid Appeal character, with everything that entails. And you've got Rat Trap, who is
my husband.
a complete fucking asshole. And like, he is
the best thing to come out of Beast Wars and possibly this entire franchise.
He is a foul-mouthed, cowardly scumbag, and he's one of the good guys, and he's amazing.
The fact that Rat Trap is an Autobot is the best thing. Like, he sucks so much, and I love him. I'm in love with him.
Yeah, our hero faction is pretty kind of twisted, kind of dark, because soon we'll get another addition to our cast.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, we cut back over to the Predacon ship, which, by the way, is called the Dark Side with a Y. And the Maximal ship is called the Axelon. They will never be named in the show. That is all from internal materials that we saw later. But those are the names of the ships. And we see Dinobot holding this golden disc, and he is immediately trying to pull a Starscream, which is very funny because in pretty much every way, Dinobot is the polar opposite of Starscream.
Well, in these episodes, he is basically Starscream, but there is one vital difference between Dinobot and Starscream, which is that Dinobot commits to the bit and does not back down. He chooses hills to die on every day and will die on them.
Yeah, and he is calling Megatron a huge fucking idiot for stealing this golden disc, which certainly doesn't look like any other famous golden disc that we know of. From Earth, and he's like, you failed, you didn't bring us to Earth, where the fuck are we? Like, I need to take over this and fucking get the situation corrected. And
no, the best part of this is that Megatron's like, who are you calling an idiot? And Dinobot just turns around to him and goes, you fight me, asshole. And
Dinobot is our first transformation into robot mode, and also the first time we see that in this series, to transform you gotta have a little code word. If you're a Predacon, you say terrorize, and if you're a Maximal, you say maximize to transform. This will
fucked up T-Cogs.
They in the future timeline, shit got real weird. So this doesn't go well. Scorponok blows Dinobot up from the shadows and sends him flying like Team Rocket. And that's the last we'll see of him for the rest of the episode until the very end.
It happens in it's 1 second.
Yeah.
1 second between Dinobot being fight me and Scorponok just sending him blasting off again.
Yep. And so the Predacons are gonna go explore. Cheetor is also going to explore because he just wants to run really fast and see some other cheetahs and goes to hang out with them. And Optimus is like, can you not for 2 fucking minutes? And while Cheetor is doing that, another thing Rat Trap does constantly is question and berate Optimus Primal's authority all the time. It's
the worst part of it is when he first does it, he's like, are you sure you're cut out for this? And Optimus is like, don't kill him, don't kill him.
Yeah, he's
kill him.
One of
you could just see Optimus close his eyes and move on.
To fucking count to 10. Don't strangle the rat. Don't strangle the rat. Everyone has catchphrases in this show, and one of Optimus's is "Shut up, Rat Trap."
Yeah, it's so good. He says it for the first time this episode, which is great.
And one of Rat Trap's is "We're all gonna die." He really is sort of like if Starscream was a good guy, which is why they paired them up in the IDW comics.
And why Starscream in the IDW comics is stop trying to I know what you're doing, I did it better.
Yes.
Constantly. I did the same thing but better.
So Cheetor is running through the fucking low poly savannah and freaking out these other cheetahs who can clearly tell that he's some kind of fucked up freak cheetah. He's an imposter. They see right through him. And he runs into a really
The faces they make are like indescribable.
whenever the animals emote, it's something.
It's
all right.
real. It's giving me like early Veggie Tales.
Yes.
It's giving me. It's serving.
Absolutely. And so
it's serving cross arms realness.
Serving fucking Xavier Renegade Angel. So Cheetor finds a really, really, really big bug, like a freakishly big bug, a bug the size of a cheetah, and he goes, "Wait a minute, that's probably a Predacon."
Well, no, he like what he says is, so the cheetahs run away from it, from this huge giant wasp, and he's like, if they're running away from it, it's just a big bug. If they're running away from it, that probably means it's not normal, which means it's a robot in disguise.
Right.
And he looks directly at the camera and he winks.
Robots in disguise. He literally says it. It's It's amazing. So he transforms. We got to talk about his gun. We do have to talk about Cheetor's gun briefly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's made of his guts. It's got textured intestines on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. We won't talk about his gun anymore. But just keep that in mind.
Hey, listen. Transformer shit.
These do, especially. All that techno-organic stuff, they're shitting. I mean, there's an entire episode later on where Rhinox gets infected by a quote-unquote Energon like emission virus, where he's just he farts. He's farting.
It's quality television, folks.
Quality television. So Cheetor and Waspinator get into a firefight. This is Waspinator, by the way. I hope everyone watched this and saw Waspinator be kind of a normal guy and be vaguely be kind of threatening. That will not be so going forward.
Waspinator's my other husband. I love him. Leave Waspinator.
No,
alone.
look. I love Waspinator. This is the last time Waspinator will be anything other than the universe's chew toy.
Yeah, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the show. Leave Waspinator.
No,
alone.
he's like a fucking cosmic. The cosmos has a target on his back. He soaks up all the misery in the world. And he gets blown up a lot, but he's fine. So he and Cheetor start to get into a fight. The other Maximals come running. Once they see the explosions, this is where we first see the image of a gorilla and a gigantic rat riding a rhinoceros. And please get used to this image. You will be seeing it frequently.
I mean, to be fair, it is better than the alternative, which is, again, seeing their own walk cycles, which are bad.
The one that they got down pretty good is Rhinox's, because I imagine it's fairly easy to model a rhinoceros's walk cycle.
Yeah, short legs, far apart.
Yeah, so they're running through. They get to Cheetor, and of course the other Predacons have also gotten there. And we get a long sequence of all of them transforming individually.
So there's okay, so they get there and they're like, Cheetor, we got your back. And Megatron's like, I don't think you do. I'm going to say you have problems of your own. And it's like, why is his cadence like that? Hey, why is his cadence like David K? Hey, what?
So this Megatron is my favorite. Beast Wars Megatron,
he's funny.
Is so fucking funny in camp. However, despite that, he manages to still be a pretty good villain, despite sounding just like that. I mean, famously, he ends most of his sentences with "yes."
Oh God, yeah. So to start oh yeah, right. They're all transforming. We have to get through that first.
They all transform individually. They all say their names and either maximize or terrorize. The rest of the Predacons, by the way,
it's so the kids know what to ask for.
Exactly. The rest of the Predacons, we have Scorponok, who, get this, he's a scorpion. Waspinator, we've already met him. We've got
Tarantulas.
to his
Can you guess what Tarantulas turns into?
He's a tarantula.
A dad.
What's so funny about Tarantulas? He's so normal. He's like a normal guy for the most part in these first episodes. Tarantulas is like a grade A freak. He is the number one sicko of the Transformers franchise.
Yeah. What does he transform into? A father.
A father of a beautiful baby boy who nothing bad will ever happen to. Oh, hi, Prowl. And finally, Terrorsaur, who transforms into a pterosaur. And he's the Starscream of the show. Make no mistake. You can hear it from he flies. He has a screechy voice. He'll be the Starscream.
No, it's really interesting. There are points when like Dinobot also has that really screechy cadence, which is weird because it's like not his character.
So,
but
fun fact about Dinobot and Rat Trap and also Waspinator, they are all voiced by Scott McNeil. So
you did great work, Scott.
Dinobot and Rat Trap,
thank you for your service.
Are going to have a lot of scenes going forward, like a lot of them. And like I would say a good 40% of this show is just Scott McNeil talking to himself.
And it's good because of it.
It's fucking amazing. Anyway, they have a big firefight. They're blasting, they're shooting their guns. Eventually Cheetor gets pinned down and Optimus orders Rat Trap.
Oh, wait. Well, wait. There's one thing.
Yes.
The way that this fight starts is important because Optimus is trying to negotiate with Megatron, basically being like,
right.
We get a bit of backstory here where Optimus is like, the Maximals have been, the Maximals and the Predacons have been in peace for hundreds of years. Why break that now? And, Megatron is like, you've lived in peace. We've lived in oppression. And we get some of the backstory there. And while Megatron's going on, and it's like, Megatron something is like, we've learned to fight back, or we know how to strike when the opportunity arises. And as he says that, Cheetor shoots him in the face. And Optimus is horrified. Optimus is like, Cheetor! Megatron says, I like you, pussycat, yes.
That's right! Oh, goodness.
A dirty shot like that. I like you, pussycat, yes. And I stopped watching.
Yeah,
I had to take a break.
You had to walk around the room after that one. Yeah, so, interesting thing about this setting, obviously very different from G1, even though it is in the same continuity, technically. So, basically what the setup for the Beast Wars is that in far future, the descendants of the Autobots and the Decepticons are living in like an uneasy peace. I believe I think it's Haxar. I forget exactly what the name of it is. It will be talked about later. But Megatron is leading this group of like basically a terrorist splinter cell of Predacons in order to attempt to like reignite the Great War. The Optimus specifically brings up the Great War as a thing of the past earlier here. So that's the basics.
Well, we're about to start a new war, a Beast War.
Damn. So they fight. Yeah, eventually both sides have to retreat because they can't stay in robot mode too long, or else they start to like shut down from energon surges. So they gotta go back in the meat suits. And the Maximals are heading back. They're like, yeah, boy, that was scary. I wanted to talk about this. This is amazing. So Optimus tells Rat Trap to, hey, go help Cheetor. He's pinned down. Me and Rhinox will cover you. And Rat Trap goes, no.
Is it crack? Is it crack that you're smoking?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. And so Optimus uses his jetpack. By the way, Optimus Primal has a jetpack. And also for a guy, for the leader of like a science expedition, this dude is armed to the teeth. He has
Hey, jetpacks can be used for research. They're not necessarily military.
Here's some other things that might be used for research. A wrist blaster. A twin pair of scimitars.
To carve through rock.
Shoulder-mounted rocket launchers.
To blast through rock.
All of this is very normal scientific equipment.
It's to blast through rock.
So he flies over to get Cheetor, and I love when they're coming back. Rhinox literally picks Rat Trap up by the scruff of the neck and holds him up above the rock they're using for cover. It's like, you're gonna help cover their fight. You're gonna help cover them, Rat Trap. Okay, you're gonna shoot at the Predacons. Okay.
So, not to jump too ahead in this series, but Rhinox and Rat Trap are dating. They are boyfriends. And this is something you'll see Rhinox do to Rat Trap a lot over the course of the series. Just like scruff him like a kitten.
Rhinox is always the guy who's trying to fucking get Rat Trap to do anything. He's the only one successful about it anyway. Everyone's trying to do that, but Rhinox is the only one who can actually manage it for the most part. But yeah, the Maximals are heading back after that battle, and lo and behold, who is blocking their way but Dinobot, who, after having been completely fucking washed on his attempt to take over the Predacons, has come with an offer. He would like to join the Maximals as their leader. This is non-negotiable.
Well, he doesn't. Yeah, it's not that he would like to join. He is going to join the Maximals as their leader.
As their leader. And so he challenges Optimus to a duel on this very narrow rock bridge. And now we begin Beast Wars Part 2, where we begin with the rock bridge again.
This one for me was not as fun as the first one, but
the climax of this episode is perhaps one of the most baffling things Transformers has ever put to television. We'll get there, but to start off, we've got Dinobot and Optimus is going like, look, you can join if you want, but like you're not gonna be the leader. And Dinobot says, well, the terms of this agreement are very strict, and so I suppose we have no choice but to duel to the death for it.
Yeah. And like Optimus is like, I don't want to fight you, and Dinobot's like, too late. Let's go on this extremely narrow land bridge.
So they're fighting, and everyone's like, I want to jump in, but I can't interfere.
Specifically Cheetor does, and Rat Trap's like, don't do that, Cheetor.
Yeah, Cheetor has slightly better impulse control than Hot Rod does in the 86 movie. Only slightly.
And also Rat Trap.
Yes.
This is literally restraining him.
Yeah, he does have the world's biggest rat restraining him. So, something to keep in mind for this series in particular is that the scale of these characters is actually much smaller than normal, which you won't see until later when you see them alongside G1 characters. But these guys are almost like human-sized. At a certain point, Cybertronians scaled down to like preserve fuel efficiency. So these guys are tiny. These guys are little. They are basically real animal sized.
Yeah, except for the three who really aren't. The two who really aren't, which are like three. Optimus, Megatron, and Dinobot, who are quite large.
So just imagine a New York rat the size of a man, and just keep that in your head.
Rat Trap is the giant rat who makes all the rules. That's Rat Trap. That's who Jerma was talking about.
That's him. So
he's even animated the same way in that video.
So they're dueling. We kind of finally.
That video actually might have better animation than these episodes of Beast Wars.
I think these are more fluid, but other than that, they're kind of the same quality. So they're dueling. We finally get to see more of Dinobot's weapons are truly bizarre. So he's got like a spinny sword. That's fine. It's like a multi-bladed, like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's a weird looking sword. And then he's got like his tail splits into a thing and it spins, and it's supposed to be a shield. I don't know how effective of a shield it is though. Like, as you're going to see, this show has to figure out what to do with all these animal parts hanging off of these dudes. So sometimes they just become really weird weapons, such as Cheetor's organ gun.
It be what it be.
And so they're fighting, and at a certain point, Dinobot gets he gets thrashed, and Primal has him at the point of his sword. But he reaches his hand out instead, and Dinobot goes, "What are you doing? You should finish me off." And Optimus goes, "No, we don't do that here." And Dinobot says, I see. Well, then maybe you should start," and blast him with his eye beams.
Yeah, Dinobot.
He's got laser eyes.
His character is also, like, very strange in a lot of ways, because he's, like, honor bound in some ways, and then he does shit like this.
I think this is like he's still like got that Predacon in him. He's got that dog in him, where he's like trying to win by any means. But clearly, this act means something to him, because when Optimus slips and almost falls, Dinobot throws him back onto the bridge and is like, "It's not honorable to let you fall to your death. I have to kill you personally with my bare hands. That's honorable." It's like, all right, man.
And Megatron chances upon this, and he's like introducing a third different worse thing.
Yeah,
me killing both of you.
So all of the fucking Predacons are making bets on who's gonna win, and Megatron's like, "Actually, I have a better idea," and he just orders all of the Predacons to shoot missiles at them.
Yeah, so they're standing again. They are fighting on this like land bridge over like I don't know, a 500-meter drop or something.
It's like, a big cliff.
Like that's at least a mile down.
And yeah, so like they're trying to have their duel, but they're having to dodge all of these rockets, and then like Dinobot gets knocked down and he's hanging from the edge. But then Optimus grabs him. He transforms into beast mode, and like I remember what.
Well, what happens is that before, like, as this happens in the last second before the missile's impact, Optimus transforms into beast mode, and he like get down Mr. President's Dinobot, and sends them both over the edge. But he's holding on by one hand. Like all of the Maximals are like, "Optimus, no, he's dead forever." And Optimus is like, "I will be soon if you do not help me up. God, please."
Yeah.
He's hanging on by his foot, right? His weird gorilla foot.
Yeah, or I think it's literally he is grabbing it with his hand.
Oh, is it?
I think he's holding on to Dinobot with his weird gorilla foot, because Dinobot did not transform into beast mode, so he is currently fucking dying from Energon Surge, and he can't transform from there.
And he's trying. Like, that's the most important thing. He is trying to, and Optimus is like, "Dude, stop. You cannot transform while I'm holding your foot like this."
And he's like, you just gotta drop me, man. You gotta live. You won. And I was like, "No, it's not how I roll." So yeah, maybe letting you go would be the right thing to do, or maybe letting go would be easier, but it's not right. I gotta hold on to you, man. And so then Megatron's like, "Okay, fuck.
I will go down with the ship, etc."
Megatron's like, "Okay, fuck all this shit. Blow the bridge up."
Yeah, but I'm done clowning around here. Kill them.
And they manage to get everyone up. Dinobot transforms into beast mode, and they all manage to escape right as the bridge collapses.
Well, an important thing happens here is that while they're blowing up the bridge, some of the missiles go wide.
That's right. And Scorponok's like,
because this is important.
Scorponok in this show has a powerful dumb guy voice. I love Scorponok's voice. He is the
He's kind of a Patrick Star.
He's like the idiot goon from the bat. Watch out, Megatron! Look at the missiles. The missiles go wide and blow up a nearby mountain, which turns out to be.
Wait, I need to talk about how this is animated.
It's not. The answer is that it's not. You don't.
It looks like. So here's my third comparison. Explodes a mountain like a 1997 Spyro game.
Yeah, you don't see the missiles. The mountain just kind of crumbles away. And you see it's made of Energon, and Megatron nuts right then and there. He's like, "Oh fuck, that's so much Energon. Oh shit."
One other thing that happens as the bridge collapses is that all of the Maximals are running across to the other side. I don't know why. And Rat Trap almost falls because he's not fast enough, and Optimus saves him, and like they just sort of stare at each other, and Optimus is like, a thank you would be welcome. And Rat Trap's like, yeah, well, you're the leader. It's your job to do this.
What an
He's such an asshole.
Fucking asshole. So all the Maximals are like, that's probably bad. We don't want the Predacons to get that much energon. And Rat Trap's like, hey, can we kill this guy? Can we kill this motherfucker? Pointing at Dinobot.
Rat Trap doesn't even ask. He just like immediately goes for
yeah,
it.
he like, well, no, he tells Rhinox to do it. He's like, Rhinox, kill this guy.
Yeah, ice this dude.
And he does. He goes for it. Rhinox is like, yeah, you got it.
Because they're dating.
And Optimus like, wait, no. We need to like use him for information. And so he asks Dinobot, what do you think Megatron's going to do with this? And Dinobot thinks for a minute. And he's like, he's not going to send the flyers in because they can't do anything. Tarantulas is the only one who's skillful enough to like cut those crystals into anything usable. So we just have to beat them there and like take him out. And saying Dinobot's going to go with him because, you know, he doesn't really like the Maximals, but like he fucking hates Megatron. He hates that dude so much. And while they're heading over there, they the Maximals like come upon something weird. So like they're like going through this cave, and Rat Trap is still like, I don't trust this scaly motherfucker. We should just kill him. But as they look down, they see that Stonehenge is here. It's Stonehenge, and it's here. And all of them just kind of look at each other like, well, we didn't build that, and the Predacons didn't build that. So what the fuck is that? And that's a surprise tool that will help us later. Then Waspinator.
Oh, this show's such a mess.
I think that the main arc, the main plot of Beast Wars actually is better than you remember. It gets really weird, really truly bizarre towards the end, which is, I think, is kind of cool.
Like I said, I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's like particularly like knockout or whatever,
No,
you know?
But it is crazy, and that's what I like. So
listen, I just said it was a mess. I didn't say it was a good or bad mess. I just said it was a mess.
So the Waspinator and Pterosaur are flying around. So the Maximals go to like try and shoot at them, but Optimus is like, wait, hang on. If you shoot at them, you might cause a fucking cave in. And Dinobot says, bet. But first Optimus uses once again his fucking jetpack to fly out and blow them the fuck up. Optimus Primal is one of the most OP guys to ever exist. He's so strong.
He do get things done.
And
you know what? There's actually some like a part that's like very enjoyable about watching a character who's actually good at this shit.
Yeah.
Do this shit. You know what I mean? Like it's
because the thing is, he knows that he only has like 5 minutes in robot mode to do anything. So he's like, all right, I will be the most expedient and skillful combatant I can, and he gets that shit done.
Yeah.
And he knocks both Pterosaur and Waspinator down, who are like, they are forced to transform to not get fucked up by the Energon. And Dinobot's like, no, fleeing enemies, perfect targets for me. What the fuck are the Geneva Conventions? Those don't exist. And he starts blasting them with his I-beams, which is once again the funniest projectile weapon any Transformer has ever had.
And you won't believe what happens next, folks.
He causes a cave-in and nearly kills Rhinox.
And Rat Trap sees this and he says, and I took that personally. And he's like, fucking ice this guy. And there's this great moment where like Rat Trap's like, where Dinobot's like, do you have Optimus is like, okay, both of you chill out. And Dinobot's like, do you have a problem with me? And Rat Trap's like, yeah, I have a problem with you. And then they both transform and Rat Trap comes up to like his thigh.
Okay, here's the thing. Imagine, if you will, the Beast Wars released today and it looked much nicer. The fandom would go absolutely fucking nuts over these two. They have everything. They have this like this bitter rivalry, but maybe there's something else, and also there's a colossal size difference.
There sure, fuck buddy, there sure is.
Like, if Beast Wars didn't look like that, and it was like the hip new Transformers series, imagine it. Imagine the filth that the internet would create. It's probably out there anyway.
Oh, I'm rotating in my head. Trust me.
So before any of that can happen, they soldier on, and Tarantulas informs Megatron that, like, hey man, the mountain, the energon up there, yeah, that's so strong that if you transform, you basically die instantly. So we're locked into beast form, and Megatron's like, well, that's fine. So are the Maximals. What the fuck ever. So, what results as the Maximals and Predacons converge on the peak of Energon Mountain is
my favorite clip from Fantasia.
A bunch of ugly CGI animals beating the shit out of each other.
It looks like it looks awful. This is like the other side of the spectrum of the Bayverse movies, where it is just like indecipherable shapes.
Yeah, it's just polygons smashing into each other instead of like a car wreck, like the crossover between a car wreck and an orgy of violence. So
yeah,
but the only notable things that really happen here are the things that Optimus and Megatron do, because they really do beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Megatron fucking chomps on Optimus's leg. Optimus gives him the fucking giant swing. Goes gorilla mode on his ass. It's pretty nasty. Oh, the rest of them, I don't really know what the rest of them did. It's all a blur. It's so much of a blur. I think Rhinox sits on somebody at some point. I don't really know.
It truly, literally does not matter. Do not worry about it.
The important thing is that both Megatron and Optimus are fucked up now, and Optimus is like, you give up, Megatron, you've lost. And Megatron's like, actually, you've forgotten, I always have one trick up my sleeve. Suicidal retribution. And he transforms into robot mode to fire a missile at Optimus, but oh shit, what's that? That's Dinobot's music. And the music is just Dinobot knocks the missile off course with his tail so that it doesn't hit Optimus and instead slams into the mountain, which, causes it to start exploding because Energon is highly unstable. And Megatron seemingly dies. We see the light leave his eyes. Spoiler alert, no.
Though I will say, listen, this happens at the start of literally every Transformer series, okay?
Right.
There's a multi-part episode, Megatron seemingly dies. Every single time.
It didn't happen in Armada. Armada's the only exception so far.
Yeah. But, like, we've seen this. We know this story, okay?
He'll be fine.
This is not... But, like, I think this is, like, the only one where immediately Optimus is like, no, he's not dead.
Absolutely. He's like, yeah, I wouldn't count it. Because Rat Trap is like, all right, all that's done with. No more Energon, Megatron's dead. We're all good, right? And Optimus is like, no, you fucking idiot.
Specifically, what Optimus said is like, no, he'll be back, and this is the start of a war. A beast war. And then we cut the credits.
Yeah, we get the fucking butt rock intro. By the way, fun fact, do you know what this show was called in Canada? Do you know this trivia?
Oh, wait. Oh, God, give me a second, let me think. I do.
Because they couldn't They couldn't call it Beast Wars because war was considered too violent a word for kids' television up there.
It's
the dumbest shit in the world.
I don't know it. I don't know it.
It was
called
called
I just know the Japanese name.
Beasties.
Oh, the wee little beasties, ain't ya?
And yes, the badass guitar ripping intro, they do indeed scream, Beasties! And it's amazing. Yeah, there's one more thing. So Dinobot and Optimus have a moment of like Dinobot going, this doesn't, I was simply repaying my debt of honor. This doesn't mean I'm a Maximal or anything. It doesn't mean I like you or anything, Optimus. He's got the tsundere blush on his fucking raptor face or whatever.
And Optimus doesn't even really see him. He goes, good enough, whatever.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Work in progress. That's fine. So yeah, Dinobot will be staying with them for the time being. And that
Autobot will return in the Avengers.
We've got a show, baby. And you know what else we've got? questions. I think we have one on Twitter, I believe, from our usual Twitter person. Let me just open that up here. That's right, Z Paladin at Mommy Amcha. Could Rat Trap do a Ratatouille? I think he might actually do a Ratatouille in the show, or at least something similar to it. Or no, it's I'm thinking of the thing from the season 2 premiere where Rat Trap goes transmetal and has wheels now, and Dinobot rides on him like a little go-kart. Oh, the show's good, actually.
It gets good. I will say that. It gets good.
They start getting wet and wild with it in the other seasons. They're like, all right, fuck it. We're going to do whatever. Fusors, transmetals, we're getting crazy out here.
Like G1, which came before it, just before it, it took them a season to sort of get into the groove of how batshit they wanted to get.
Oh, yeah. So that's moving on to the Discord. Strawberry Jam But a Robot asks, how do you feel after watching the first 2 episodes of one of the things that ruined Transformers forever? We completely forgot to mention Truck Not Monkey. That's like the infamous Beast Wars thing. So, the one thing you gotta understand about the Transformers fandom, especially the forums, right? They hate everything new. Like, whenever something new is announced, they immediately hate it and say that it's the death of the franchise. Every single time.
Specifically the thing that ruined Transformers forever.
Yes, and the first example of this is when Beast Wars was first being announced. Everyone was freaking the fuck out because like, oh my god, Optimus Prime is a fucking monkey. This is stupid. And Truck Not Monkey became the like mocking the like what people said to mock those people of like, this truck go do Truck Not Monkey. So yes, everything ruined Transformers Forever. I encourage everyone to go and look up Ruined Forever on the TF Wiki. It's a very good article.
Yeah. Some other things include women. Women ruined Transformers Forever.
Pokemon.
Literally CGI.
Oh, God. And, like, look, there's nothing that better refutes that knee-jerk reaction than the place that animated now holds in the fandom's heart. Because, like, I talked about it when we covered animated. People fucking...
South Asians.
People fucking hated animated when it was first revealed. They were like, this is kiddie bullshit. This is fucking stupid. Now, where are they? Oh, animated's like one of the most beloved shows of all time. Damn. Makes you think. And Beast Wars, too. The Beast era is... Everyone loves that shit now. So whenever you see a new Transformers show and you feel that urge to, like, jerk that knee, stay your hand and wait until it comes out. Unless it's the Netflix shows. Those were bad. I could tell those were bad from the beginning. I knew that one. I could smell that one.
Okay. Rooster Teeth doesn't count.
They don't make real TV shows.
Rooster Teeth doesn't count. They're not a real animation studio. They do not make actual television.
Next up from Michael Bay's Cream. What kind of oil do you think they covered the Play-Doh models in to get them?
Sorry for that one.
What kind of oil? I assume that was from the fucking Sunday or the Saturday viewing that I missed somehow. It was from me adding everyone and saying I regret to inform everyone that we're once again back at it at Michael Bay's Cream. I don't want to think about Michael Bay's Cream. Anyway, yeah.
Back at it again at Michael Bay Cream.
Sam asks, what kind of oil do you think they covered the Play-Doh models in to get them to look like that? They are, especially, Scorponok is especially wet looking. Did you notice that? He's like moist.
I didn't, but go on.
But yeah, they are the models, especially in robot mode. They're very shiny and wet looking. So I assume it's they're all just completely slathered in lube, head to toe. Very slippery. That's why the walk cycles look so awkward. Because they don't have any.
It's not. You do not get to grant their walk cycles that amnesty.
They don't have any traction. They're too slippery and slidey. If you try to hug Ratchet, he's just gonna pop out of your arms like one of those fucking.
Listen, I'm gonna say a sentence that's going to make everyone unhappy, but Optimus Primal's lubricated thighs are not making him clip through his ass.
Hell, there's the title of the episode. Anyway, Pilot Light asks, did you ever get the complimentary tiger poster? No, I never had any zoo books. You know what I did have, though? You know what I did have from that period of, like, mail order things? I had Weird and Wild Creatures. That's what I had. It was like these info cards of various things, and you put them in these little boxes and organize them by category. It was neat.
I think my sister got the zoo books. My sister's 3 years older than me, so I think my sister got the zoo books. And she would have gotten the poster if there
Tiger
was
poster.
the one.
Also from Pilot Light, why do they just know the names of the Earth animals? That's been bugging me.
They're actually the ones who named them. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, there's weird recursive time going on here that we'll see later. Oh, by the way, one thing we didn't mention that's like supposed to be the tell that it's not actually Earth is that there's 2 moons in the sky. That will also come up later. Don't worry.
Yeah,
about that.
That's right.
Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about that. The second moon doesn't matter. It's fine. That used to be up there. People don't know this.
That's literally just
normal.
Earth used to look like.
Sobwitch asks, what would the Autobot / Decepticon versions of Maximize and Terrorize be? It can't be Autobots roll out, and they have to scream it at the top of their lungs whenever they transform. Autobots automate.
Automatize.
Atomize.
Atomize and Decepticons deceive.
Decepticons decimate. Decepticons bust it down sexual style. I don't know. It's so goofy that they have to yell that to transform. I love it. Robinus Prime asks the age-old questions of our ancestors. Do we truck or do we monkey? I mean,
are we
speaking personally?
Are we monkey?
Speaking personally,
or are we dancer?
Speaking personally, I like the Beast era, but I do like a truck. I must admit, I do like a truck. I'm glad that the Beast era is here, and I think there's a lot of cool stuff in it, but if I'm gonna be real, it's truck.
I mean, yeah, for me, it's obviously truck. I was never that into Beast Wars, so, Primal is cool and all, but it's not.
I think he's a really good character. I think he might be, like, as far as actual writing goes, he's really quite good.
Yeah, I am liking Beast Wars more than I remembered. It is tough for me to watch, but I am enjoying it. If I close my eyes, it's really good.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like Rat Trap is right there?
God, I hope not. So yeah, from like that perspective, like I like Primal, but like Optimus to me is the truck.
He is a big red truck.
Yeah.
From Leggy Spiderbot, what's your favorite version of bad guy joins the good guys permanently in fiction?
It's got to be Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Zuko.
I gotta give it to
Zuko's
Zuko.
Really good. I was also gonna go with like.
You're gonna go She-Ra, aren't you?
I mean, I like that a lot, but that's like a different thing. Honestly, what I was gonna say is the true classic, Vegeta, because the thing about Vegeta, the thing that makes him so funny, is that he doesn't really change all that much.
True.
He's still a huge fucking prick. He just doesn't fight the good guys anymore. And I really like that dynamic. And that's kind of what Dinobot is. He's still an asshole. He's still a huge fucking asshole, but like he's vaguely aligned with the Maximals now, so he's just there. But yeah, I mean, obviously I do love Catra. But I think Zuko is the blueprint. Zuko is like
here. The thing about Zuko is that
he's like the phenotype of bad guy joins heroes permanently,
and like of doing it well, of giving him the space to actually, like, he's one of the only redemption arcs I've seen that actually works.
Yeah,
because he's given the space to actually do it. Like, you have to really earn redemption, and he's one of the only ones who actually, like, puts in the work not to just, like, make gestures, but to at, like, a conscious emotional level. And it takes him a long time to get there. It takes, like, Iroh basically dying for him to, like, sort of get to that point.
There's a reason any given, like,
yeah,
redemption arc in that genre and in that space is compared directly to that, because it is kind of the gold standard. The other route you can go is the Vegeta route, which is more what Dinobot is, and what, like, some other but, like, you know, there's all kinds out there. Really, the only thing I hate is when they half-ass it, or it's like at the very end, and it's like, no, you got to get there, you got to earn it, you got to fucking get down in the mud and dig in there and get messy. Anyway, Leggy Spiderbot also asks, what do you think these folks' vehicle modes would be? We actually do have a canonical answer for all of those. BotCon, I think 2008 or 2009, the theme was, like, Beast Wars, and it was specifically a prequel story to Beast Wars, where you got to see everybody's like, Cybertron modes, and the answer is all of them are retools of various Transformers Cybertron toys. I think they made a good fit. Rhinox is like a big front end loader. Optimus is like a big muscle car. Megatron is it's like a giant missile truck or something. I mean, there's definitely other ones you could choose.
Cheetor's a motorcycle, right?
Yes, he is a motorcycle.
Yeah, that
definitely fits. But yeah, like, there are plenty of, like, pre-Beast Wars material out there. There's another one that it's a series of prose stories called Beast Wars Uprising that kind of reimagines the Maximal Predacon conflict. I've never personally read it, but it seems kind of interesting, and they all have, like, vehicle modes and stuff there. So yeah, interesting stuff. But the only important one is that Rhinox. Actually, what would Rat Trap be? That's the question. Is he a dune buggy?
A subway.
A whole subway?
A subway car. Yeah,
that's big.
Subway car.
That's still pretty big.
It's his home.
His body is actually very small. He just masked his places. Exactly. Oh, God. I don't want to imagine Rat Trap being the team transportation instead of Rhinox. That's scary.
Kind of a cat. I'm imagining a kind of cat bus scenario here.
Oh, let's move on to our last question. At Leggy Spiderbot once again asks, what do you make of the Predacons being called that, especially with at least half of the OG Maximals at the moment being predator animals, gorillas and cheetahs? Is gorilla a predator?
I mean, gorilla's an omnivore.
Yeah, I guess it is. I don't know if it feels. I'm not an ecologist.
It is technically a predator. You can tell because their eyes face forward.
Right. I mean, Predacons I think they chose that one because it was a pre-existing name. It's a combiner team from G1 that all turned into animals.
And also, you have to, like, choose a name for an animal-based team that sounds evil.
Exactly. So you gotta get Predacons in there. I don't know why Maximals is I guess mammals. Maximum mammals.
Yeah, probably. That would be my guess, yeah.
Because that's the real split. It's that all of the Predacons are insects and reptiles, and all of the Maximals are mammals, except for Dinobot, obviously, but that's a different thing. But yeah, I think that's the actual split, really. It's like all of the Decepticons being military equipment and the Autobots being, like, regular cars. Just a classic,
yeah, exactly.
A classic good and evil
or
divide.
Decepticons being flyers.
Yes.
Versus Autobots being on the ground.
Which they do not have that advantage in this one. In fact, the best flyer is probably Optimus Primal. And that will only continue to be true as the series moves forward and he gets new bodies.
Though he is the only one.
He is the only one. Well, they get another one later.
Yes, they do.
But this is not a war of aerial
And I love her.
God.
And I love her.
Oh, Air Yes, that is it for our...
But we haven't... You remember, women also ruined Transformers forever, so we haven't gotten to them yet.
That's right. They're going to show up, including perhaps the most famous... the second most famous Transformer woman character of all time, other than RC.
Black Arachnia?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that is it for our inaugural Beast Wars episode, of course. You can find us on Twitter at Prime Cuts Pod and join our Discord where we just screened Dark of the Moon for all of our adoring listeners and made everyone feel just sort of vaguely ill afterwards.
I relieved Nero of their terrible, terrible burden this time.
Yeah, you streamed
and
it.
showed it twice myself as opposed to making them do it.
It's not as bad. I was right in that it's not as bad as Revenge of the Fallen. It's not good.
I mean, the bar is literally subterranean. The bar's in hell.
It wasn't quite as racist, I guess. It was still kind of racist, but not to the degree, the like unending degree of Revenge of the Fallen. It was really more weirdly homophobic.
Yeah, it was pretty homophobic.
It had, well,
and also nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Like, nothing happens in it.
The Decepticons blow up Chicago.
It is 2.5 hours long and nothing happens in it.
But yes, if you would, but
Shockwave is there, so hey.
He's not there for long. He's there for 2 minutes over the course of the movie and says one thing. But that's
not true. He says two things. He has another line when he he says the drill bot is hungry.
He's a big worm.
Yeah.
You do see a lot of Shockwave's worms. So if you're into that, Dark of the Moon is for you, I guess.
His huge worm.
It's real big. But yeah, I mean,
Shockwave's canon huge worm.
If you want to watch Age of Extinction, which is kind of thematically in line with Beast Wars a little bit, I guess. Want to see a guy's face turn into a gun? You want to see Mark Wahlberg shotgun an entire Bud Light angrily?
And be weird about his underage daughter?
Then, boy howdy, that's the movie for you. Do you want to see Stanley Tucci fucking slamming it?
Enough. Move on.
I'm Nero.
Enough.
You can find me on Twitter at Dragon Smoocher. You can also find me on co-host at Dragon Kisser. Nope, Dragon Snuggler. I always forget. And you can find my various other projects in various other places, such as Ready Free Heidelin, back off of hiatus. We have returned at Heidelin Radio on Twitter and Ready Free Heidelin on co-host.
By the way, I meant to tell you, and you can keep this in or take it out, whatever you choose. But I'm in the Hyperfixation Discord, and someone did Final Fantasy XIV, and everyone was talking about Radio Free Heidelin and how much they like it.
Oh! So
I thought you should.
I'm keeping that in because I like my ego getting lots of scratches. That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell Jane that later. Anyway, yeah, listen to Ready for Heidelin, everyone's favorite Final Fantasy XIV podcast. The reviews are in, and of course, I also, I guess, yeah, the socials aren't up quite yet, but by the time this comes out, the first episode of me and Jane's next show, Talk Cycles.
Oh my god, dude.
I have a problem, and that problem is that I am addicted to if I didn't have a full-time job, I would have like 3 more podcasts.
Homie, me too, but I do have a full-time job.
So Talk Cycles is a monthly podcast. We're not crazy. One a month. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna do is every month we're gonna watch a season of an animated show of a particular type from a particular time. That kind of Avatar: The Last Airbender, semi-serialized, early to mid 2000s kind of era, right? Or late 2010s. And every month we're going to talk about the whole thing and what we thought. Our first episode is going to be on Infinity Train Book 2, because we already did Infinity Train Book 1 for the Podcast of Power Patreon, which you can find at Podcast of Power on Twitter. That's a She-Ra show. But yeah, exciting things happening on my end, but that's it for now. For me.
I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr, Twitter, and co-host, although I'm not active at that last one, at Optimus on Prime, my funny robot internet joke. You can listen to the other podcasts I do, also on the Noise Space Network, called Pot of Greed. It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! We started Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. It's a good show!
I gotta rewatch 5Ds. I need to catch up on Pot of Greed and also actually watch 5Ds, because I've never seen it all the way through. But it is good.
I am enjoying the hell out of it, like way more than I thought I would be. I am inching ever closer to being able to release information about the new podcast I have going up at the Moonshot Network, but not quite there yet. And again, was cast in a radio drama that I can't share more information about at the moment either, but hopefully more news coming about that soon.
And of course, we are a member of the Noise Space Network, noisespace.xyz, where you can find all of our wonderful colleagues making shows like Dr. Huh and Digimon Ghost Gaze. What have we not shouted out in a while?
The Sonic Shuffle,
Hey,
I think, is
that's a good
still updating. Kamarocha Radio is coming back
Yeah.
soon. Slappers Only came back recently.
Hell yeah.
There's one. Yeah.
Whatever you have, whatever you're interested in, you can find the show there. But that'll be all for us this week. So until next time, I am going to clamber onto my trusty rhino steed and ride off into the sunset, transform and gorilla out. I don't know what the verb is for this one.
Transform and maximize.
Transform and maximize. There you go.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you the time and the weather in a weirdly sexy but also completely disengaged way. Transform and maximize.
Beast!
Peach. Beast! Oh, bad. All right, bye.